Welcome to this exciting podcast of professional wrestling, featuring all the news, all the backstage stories, and all the stuff that you've been hearing about. So prepare yourself for the FWL Podcast. Here are your hosts, Playboy Stevie V, Steve Valencia, and the commish, Gabe Valencia. Let's get this thing rolling.
And we are live. I'm here with Playboy V.
Good Saturday afternoon. Been raining like cats and dogs where I'm from, but there was plenty of time to stay inside and watch wrestling.
Where I'm from, the sun is out, and I'm the commish. We do this over satellite phones from different hemispheres of the Earth.
Yeah, the sun actually came out in honor of us doing the podcast today. As soon as this podcast is over, it's going to go back to raining, and that means you need to go back inside and listen to this podcast.
Yes, true. So, I just want to start off by saying this right now. Last night was a Ring of Honor pay-per-view, and Broken Matt Hardy shows up to feud for the tag team titles.
I think that's amazing. I mean, TNA's been... Everyone keeps talking about, anytime now they're going to go out of business, and they just seem to be hanging on, man. It's like a massive case of wrestling diarrhea. But anyways, it looks like Matt Hardy is made the move to Ring of Honor. I mean, so I know it's pre-taped TNA, so they must have left at some time. But you know what? Good pickup by Ring of Honor because the only reason TNA has been broken in his total ridiculousness, but now it's in Ring of Honor. I mean, shame on whoever let him go in TNA.
And also, they had Cody Rhodes on the pay-per-view, so he's gone from there too.
Who the fuck cares?
Actually, I disagree with that. I wasn't a Cody Rhodes fan, but he fits so much better in these indie feds. He's believable. It's fine. He's just like a jerk 80s bully. That's kind of his gimmick now. And
well, yeah, you know what? I give, if a wrestler can sell me back, like Matt Hardy. Cannot stand Matt Hardy. He was so boring. But this Broken Matt Hardy character, I dig it.
Yeah.
You know, so you could turn me around, you know, but as of right now, Cody Rhodes doesn't do anything for me being there. But the Matt Hardy thing, I mean, just TNA, shame on them. What are you going to watch TNA for now? For what? Anyway, we used to, when we did watch some of it, you know, you watched a lot of them, but I watched some of them with you. The only thing we're looking forward to seeing, for the most part, was Broken Matt Hardy and his, you know, ridiculous vignettes and stuff, but he's gone.
I don't want to see Eli Drake, but
yeah,
but I also
Eli Drake can only do so much.
I don't want to watch a show that's revolving around the terribleness of Dixie Carter because it's just wow. And here's another thing with TNA is I don't think ever before that they've lost their signing power. Wrestlers don't want to sign with TNA anymore because that's
not
like
getting paid.
Yeah, and that's like the end of their career. So who knows? Maybe this will be the ship going down.
I mean, maybe that's why James Storm went back because he's allergic to money. I want to work for WWE and get no money. Well, we have to pay you something. Fine, I'm going to TNA.
Yeah, sorry about your damn luck. Every time you hear that song, you just laugh.
But Ring of Honor, man, if they were... You know, I'm not saying Ring of Honor is stupid or anything because they're smart. I mean, for what they have a good show, you know, for the money that they have and stuff. But if they're stealing people from TNA, if you want to save people from careers going down, you need to get Eli Drake out of TNA. You need to get EC3 out of TNA. You know, I would say the Wolves, but I think they burnt their bridge.
Yeah, they're not allowed back.
Bennett probably burnt his bridge. You know, other than that, I think that's the only ones I would really want to see. You know what? No, I would see, man, what is their name? The WWE's ripping off. Decay.
Yeah, Decay, yeah.
Ring of Honor needs to get Decay.
I think that with...
They'd fit.
Decay is Abyss, Crazy Steve, and Rosemary, but I don't think Rosemary's with them anymore, and I think she's going to be in WWE.
Yeah, Rosemary, I actually think Rosemary's put those two over.
Yeah, I think so too.
You know, with Decay without Rosemary, then I don't want them.
Yeah, I completely agree. I was totally over with the whole Decay thing, but then she hasn't been out with them for like, I don't know, 3 shows. I'm just like, well, they just suck.
Yeah,
I don't even want to watch this anymore.
All right, so I don't know if we're still talking. We rarely talk about Ring of Honor or TNA, but
Well, they had a big paper. That was like
Yeah.
that was like the WrestleMania. They were at the Hammerstein Ballroom, and it was freaking sold out.
all right. Well, yeah, Hannah's Ballroom is
And
that's a good venue.
the thing ended with Adam Cole being defeated by Kyle O'Reilly, and Kyle O'Reilly, your new champion. It was a great show.
Oh, here's my question for you. How long of a run do you think Kyle O'Reilly's going to have? Do you think he's going to be a transitional champ where he's going to lose it here? Probably.
Yeah, I hope not.
I have a gut feeling that he is, but I hope not either. And you know what? I've been watching Kyle O'Reilly for probably about 5 years. You know, I probably go back with Ring of Honor maybe only 5 years, so it wasn't available where I was at. But since I've seen Kyle O'Reilly and stuff like that, he deserves it. You know, him winning the championship, he totally deserves it. I'd be one of those people in the crowd chanting, "You deserve it," because he does. He always puts on great matches.
Kyle O'Reilly reminds me of the modern day Bret Hart.
Yeah, except he's way smaller.
Yeah.
Cruiserweight.
Well, we're not talking about the genetic mutants of the 80s and 90s.
Oh, my roided out guys.
And my roided out guys, too. I'm talking about just like the normal wrestlers. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I would say that he's probably like that.
You know who reminds me of, okay, O'Reilly, like Bret Hart. Okay, I could kind of see that. To me, Bret Hart, God damn it, what's his name? Chad Gable reminds me a lot of like an Angle and a Bret Hart.
Yeah.
You know, Chad Gable does, but again, smaller version, but yeah.
Well, anyways.
But speaking of Bret Hart.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of Bret Hart, we saw him over at the Raiders game.
Yeah, what was he doing over there? He was right next to our luxury box seats.
Yeah, he was rooting for the Raiders.
Bret
Hart, best wrestler of all time now.
Well, yeah, I don't really take Bret Hart as a Raiders fan. This is weird.
Yeah, he's Canadian. I don't know.
I didn't think Canadians were allowed to like football.
Yeah, they had their own football to watch. That Canadian football.
Oh yeah, they had their.
They have their own league.
Oh, that's like the fake one. That's like TNA.
Well, the Raiders are so cool that Bret Hart actually left his country to come and see them to be a fan. You think of it this way: we're from the United States. What if we were big time Liverpool, whatever, in England soccer fans, and we go over there? That's weird, right? And that's kind of what Bret Hart did.
Oh, whatever. Good job, Bret Hart. So this morning at a house show, I think it was this morning or it was really, really late last night, Nakamura wins back the NXT title from Samoa Joe.
You know what? I thought I had everything figured out, and it's almost like creative from the WWE bugs my house or my phone or something like that, and just totally as soon as if I have it all figured out, they throw me a curveball. But to me, it looked like I thought that Nakamura was going to go over Samoa Joe when Nakamura at that last NXT pay-per-view, and that Samoa Joe was going to move up to the main roster. But when Samoa Joe beat Nakamura, I'm like, well, maybe they're not ready for Samoa Joe yet, and they're going to bring up Nakamura. Because you know what? Nakamura, sooner than later, needs to come up. He's amazing. Nakamura, every time I hear his music, I get those goosebumps and stuff, just like when I was a kid and I heard Real American and stuff like that. It's awesome. But so I thought they were going to finally just pull the trigger and move up Nakamura, but now Nakamura won the title back. So I have no idea what the hell they're doing.
Let's talk about something that I want to tie into this here. So obviously everybody's still talking about this Goldberg thing. About Goldberg beating Brock Lesnar in 2 seconds. First of all, what do you think about that? Yeah, let's hear it.
I don't know what they're doing with that. If they're not going to, I don't know what. I mean, are they going to push Goldberg from now on? I mean, Goldberg doesn't want to be around that long, and you built up Lesnar. You built up Lesnar to this monster that destroyed John Cena really quick, that busted open Orton, that ended The Undertaker's career. Then all of a sudden goes in there with Goldberg, who's like, I don't know, in his 50s or something like that.
Something like that.
Destroyed him.
Yep.
I mean, straight up destroyed him. I mean, even if it was James Ellsworth in the ring with Goldberg, he would have beat Ellsworth in the same amount of time as he did Brock Lesnar. I don't know what they're doing, and I still don't like it. I mean, Goldberg's is over now, and that's what I was trying to talk to you about. I don't understand this logic because all the kids and stuff that are watching and watching Goldberg doesn't even really know who the hell he is. But for some reason on Raw, he's over. I mean, so I don't know what they're doing. I'm lost when it comes to this move. I don't know.
Other people are talking about the Goldberg thing, and he is over now. But guess what? You could have put anybody in the ring against Lesnar and had them beat Lesnar in 30 seconds, and they would have been over too. So it has nothing to do with Goldberg. Yeah, I don't care if he was a star back in the day. No, none of the younger kids know who he is, and they don't care. And his matches are terrible. He can't work a microphone. He's creepy. But here's one thing that I heard that all the wrestling fans always are whining for surprises.
Surprise.
That's there's a surprise right there, but that's not a good surprise.
No, it's not, but it did surprise me.
Yeah, it did, I guess.
The one thing that really irritates the shit out of me about this Goldberg thing is way back in the Attitude Era, when WCW and Raw were both, Nitro and Raw were going at it in the ratings war. I had friends that were huge WCW marks like you did too.
We all
and
did.
I was always a huge WWF mark and now WWE. And everybody was always talking about the super match on who was better, Austin or Goldberg.
Right.
And I was a huge Austin fan. Austin's one of my favorite wrestlers, hands down, of all time. And I would, argue with people about, who's better, Goldberg or... Now everybody's going to bring up, Goldberg just beat Lesnar in this much time, so he must be better. Damn you, WWE. Damn you.
Okay, so it's obvious that they just did it to screw over Sting even harder. That's what.
I don't understand that either.
That's what I'm boiling it down to.
You bring Sting in, and you can't even give this guy a win.
Nope. That's what it is. That's what it is. They hate
But
Sting.
Goldberg, no, go ahead and take out Lesnar in a minute.
They hate Sting so much. They hate him so much that they're just like, how can we ruin his career even more after we made him sell out to us and then job a bunch of times? Oh, let's sign the other guy from WWE and just have him destroy Lesnar. Perfect. Good job, WWE, if that was your intention. Self high five.
Poor Sting.
Poor Sting.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have this animal, this complete unstoppable monster Goldberg right now. What's to stop them from putting over Samoa Joe on Goldberg? Or Nakamura on Goldberg?
There's nothing stopping them. Shit,
what would you think if that happened?
With the decisions that they make, they might put me over on Goldberg.
But like, if you were watching and that just happened, and he's dominating people, and then somebody like Samoa Joe or somebody like Nakamura
I would
comes
think
out,
that they just got like a major. They better not fuck up because they just got a major endorsement on they're a major badass now.
Yeah.
If they do that, yeah.
I don't think that's where this road's heading, but I think that it could.
Well, if it did, if I was responsible for handpicking the person, it would be Nakamura.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It wouldn't be Samoa Joe. Not saying I don't like Samoa Joe. Me and the commish have different views. He hates Samoa Joe. I really like Samoa Joe, but I don't want Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe's going to be, I think he's going to be good, but Nakamura, if he's, I think Nakamura's going to be a fucking megastar, on a totally different level, so.
I respect that you like Samoa Joe and other people like Samoa Joe, but Samoa Joe's given too much credit for what he actually is. Everybody
Samoan named Joe?
Everybody gives him too much credit, and his name's Joe, so.
Yeah. No, I don't think there's anybody named Joe that's a decent human being.
I think that's all the big news.
Yeah.
Anything really besides the Goldberg thing surprise you on the Survivor Series? Those Survivor Series matches were great.
Yeah, they were pretty good.
I'm not usually one that likes those big tag team matches. Like, I don't really like them very much, but they were all super good and really exciting.
Oh, WWE has a deep roster. They really do. And there's no John Cena right now, so you get a lot of, fresh faces and stuff like that. No, the only thing about Survivor Series that I would, me being older, fuck it, old, is I learned from my mistakes, and I'll tell you a story about, and this is what's going on, this is what they tried to do. Me and the commission almost found ourselves doing this.
It's story time with Playboy Stevie V, baby.
Way back in the day, when Bret Hart and Steve Austin were having that legendary epic feud that they had, that had the double turn in WrestleMania, which I still think was the most entertaining feud I've ever seen, was them two. I liked Bret Hart. I did. I liked Bret Hart. I watched him throughout his entire career in the WWF. And when he started getting pushed up and eventually became the main eventer, it was like seeing a homegrown guy over there. And I was behind Bret Hart 100%. Austin came around, and come on, man, everybody loved Austin. Stone Cold, dude. And he was actually doing his heel that really got him popular, too.
Yeah, that was the best.
And he was awesome. But what it ended up doing when they were feuding was it made the commish was rooting for Bret Hart, and I was on the fence for a little while, but I just love Steve Austin, dude. So yep. I jumped on Steve Austin, but it got to a point with me that I started feeling a little bit less about Bret Hart because of the feud. I was always rooting for Steve Austin, and that's a mistake. And that's what the WWE was almost did to us here between AJ Styles and Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
Because you're on both separate sides. I am a huge I'm a huge Kevin Owens mark, man. I love Kevin Owens, but AJ Styles, since he's came to the WWE and turned heel, has been one of the best heels I've ever seen in a long time on like a Chris Jericho level. Yeah. It's just, and I love him too, but they almost made it where the commission's rooting for AJ, I'm rooting for Kevin Owens, but you know what? You got to stop. Both of these guys are awesome, and not liking one of them just because you really like the other one, kind of diminishes. I think it disrespects them and diminishes all the work they do.
I think it's a true story.
Yeah, they're both awesome. So I know you guys are both listening to it too. So
yeah, all the time.
All the time.
So, but let's get down to brass tacks.
Mm-hmm.
If they went head to head, AJ Styles would beat Kevin Owens like a jobber. Let's move on. So what's the deal with Sasha Banks and Charlotte? Just keep switching the titles back and forth over and over again.
Wait. Right before I address that,
yeah.
The one thing that would really suck if AJ Styles and Kevin Owens had a feud is WWE would make one of them turn face. And they're both just so great at heels. But yeah, the switching back and forth, I have no idea.
So she's going to do that for like the next 3 years?
Yeah, 18-time world champions by, like I said, by the end of next year.
I like Sasha Banks more.
But fantasy wrestling wise, though, dude, I think you did a good job picking Sasha Banks because those raw points are almost impossible to get. She's been getting you a bunch of points on. She's gotten you what, like 10? No, 20.
Like 20, yeah,
at
least.
20 points just from Raw. So I don't know what they're doing.
I don't know. They just need to prepare somebody else because they can't just keep feuding with each other.
I don't know if anybody else is really ready. I mean, Bayley.
Well, they better bring up Asuka then. I don't care if they don't have a good division.
Becky Lynch is in the other one, but other division. But you know what?
Ugh, Becky Lynch is unbearable to listen to.
I think they brought up a lot of divas too early from NXT.
Yeah,
and you had an idea which I thought was really good when you were talking to me one time. We were like, you know what, the women's division should be like the cruiserweight division, where like Monday Night Raw just has all the women, the whole women thing, and SmackDown has all the cruiserweights.
I think we talked about this last show.
Did we?
I think we did. But if we didn't, no, that's what we talked about, so there it is.
That's what I think they should do.
That's what they should do.
Then you would have more matches, because let's face it, Alexa Bliss at first, I was thinking she got brought up too early, but she just destroyed Becky Lynch on SmackDown on the microphone. She's pretty good.
She's just too small. She's ridiculously small. Yeah, but I mean, Trump's president, so who really cares?
Yeah, who cares? Just grab him by the pussy.
Beep. So, Rich Swann, your new cruiserweight champion on 205 Live. The worst setup for a wrestling show I've ever seen in my whole life. The worst time spot, the worst everything is 205 Live, your cruiserweight division. Awful. Why would you put these guys on after SmackDown? Right after it got done getting taped? What? That doesn't make any sense. Like I said, this is like pick the terrible band that plays at your local bar. Hold on. All right, you got them? Okay, so they're going to close the show and Metallica's opening. So everybody will stick around for your guys for sure. That's what they're doing.
They've been doing a lot of shit lately that doesn't make any sense. The Goldberg thing, this
makes so much no sense at
all. Sasha and Charlotte going back and forth. I don't know, dude. I mean, you said it doesn't make any sense. I mean, I watch the WWE Network and they show me a commercial before it starts about something that I'm currently fucking watching.
Oh, that's true.
So I don't know.
But they're like setting this up for success. Why can't they put it on before SmackDown starts?
I don't know. You know what? I hope. I don't know why they won't do that, but I hope Rich Swann in this thing, they start getting some momentum now for the Cruiserweight division, because so far for me, it's been a big fat fucking failure. And I think it was getting kind of okay, and then it got kind of bad, and it was like they panicked, and then they put the belt on Brian Kendrick, and it died. Yep. And it was just like, why Brian? Like, when I see a cruiserweight match, I want to see people like Rich Swann wrestling.
Yeah.
I don't want to see Brian Kendrick wrestles like Christian, or wrestles like William Regal. William Regal.
Come on,
but
that's
he's
insulting.
the cruiserweight.
Christian's a much better wrestler.
Yeah, it's like, who wants to see your cruiserweights wrestle like Kevin Nash? I mean, we got good news for you. We got Brian Kendrick.
That's pretty insulting to Kevin Nash.
Yeah, I mean, it was
Kevin Nash is a much better wrestler.
But I'm happy
Brian Kendrick.
I'm happy Rich Swann won, because out of all the cruiserweights that I've seen, I've thought that he has the most potential.
He was the only match that was over on that whole show. The crowd was dead throughout the whole show, and he got him into it at the end. But if they keep having their time slot after SmackDown, it's gonna die.
Okay. Well, what I do right now, since the Cruiserweight division's in need for some resuscitation, is Rich Swann is over.
Right.
He's probably the most over Cruiserweight right now.
The
WWE
yeah.
has.
Uh-huh.
They need to keep that belt on him for as long as possible to build someone else who's exciting.
I agree with that.
And then after Rich Swann loses the belt, maybe they could do something with him by moving him up, to something else.
You said that you want to see him turn heel.
Yeah, he could turn, like, if somebody is they're bringing up a new babyface or something that's really getting over, have him turn heel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's pretty much everything that happened. Besides, obviously, the Y23 return, where Chris Jericho is going to have himself cryogenically frozen so he can make his Y3J return.
I'm gonna freeze myself too, so I can be there when it happens.
Yeah. Well,
going up to the mountains naked later.
I thought that was obviously the plan. See, they said that we can share a chamber. All right, so let's talk about some TLC SmackDown pay-per-view this Sunday, aka tomorrow. So they didn't even announce a kickoff match. So who could the kickoff match be?
Apollo Crews and somebody. That's just my thing.
I think Apollo Crews should be kicked right off of the roster. If you ask me.
They brought him up way too fast. They did.
They signed the wrong guy. They meant to sign ACH, and they signed Apollo Crews.
You really think so?
I am dead serious. I think so.
Huh.
Because now ACH got signed, and he's going to be out the door.
Okay, well, let's start with the tag team champions, Beauty and the Man Beast versus Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton.
Come on!
I really, really, really liked that a tag team match that meant something, like a number one contender match for tag team titles. Yeah. Was the main event on SmackDown. That hasn't happened in a long time. You've had like tag team matches that Teddy Long just used to make that really didn't mean shit. But so I'm like, because back in my day, tag team championships were a really big deal. Sometimes they would main event the show. But I just have this feeling in the back of my head where I'm like, yeah, they're giving the tag teams some, prestige, some push. But it's like, is it that, or is it just because Randy Orton was in the match with Bray, and he had to be on the main event? I don't know. But this Randy Orton, Bray Wyatt thing, Randy Orton's not working. Everyone could see that he's eventually just going to RKO Bray Wyatt.
It already started. He's going to turn all of his Wyatts against him. It already started. Did you see SmackDown? Did you see when he told Luke Harper he better win his match? It's already happening.
Yeah.
It's like, no, stop.
So who do you think's going to win?
I think that they need to do two things. Let me say before I think it's going to win. Like, they need to do two things. Number one, if you're going to have Randy Orton in the Wyatts, at least make him change wardrobes. God, come on. You can't just be hanging around them in Speedos and everybody else is dressed like weird backwoods guys. And then we got the one guy hanging out in the Speedo. Okay, that makes no sense. Anyways,
It'd freak me out.
I guess. Number two, come on, WWE. Grow a pair of balls. Because a few people made fun of you on the internet, you're not going to keep doing the glowing eyes. You went all in with the glowing eyes. What happened? Chickens. Bunch of chickens, and one day you're going to regret it.
So who's going to win?
Heath Slater and Rhino, obviously.
Okay, yeah, I'm going Heath Slater Rhino because Orton does something, or one of the other or Luke Harper or somebody costs.
That's what's happening. Luke Harper's going to cost them.
I don't think. I think Slater and Rhino, when they drop the belts, eventually will be to the Usos.
Right now, we have a contendership for match of the night, possibly with Kalisto versus Baron Corbin.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good match. I think Corbin's going to destroy him. But
do you think he's going to put him out? Quotation marks. Put him out.
No, I just think they're going to have a really good, brutal match.
Yeah.
And I think Baron Corbin's going to go over.
It's a chairs match, by the way, so obviously that means they're going to use chairs.
Yeah, there'll be a lot of Kalisto jumping off the ropes and Baron Corbin swinging for the fences.
So, if they use, like, a ladder, will it get disqualified?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know the rules of a chairs match.
I don't think they ever really do that, though. They just put a bunch of chairs around and that's it. But I don't know. Good question. I would think not. I mean,
well, why? Everything should be the same rules except for chairs are legal.
It's presentation. It's show business. That's why they're doing a special emphasis on chairs.
We need some clarification of the rules here. We need some clarification on the rules here. So who do you think's going over?
Corbin.
Yeah, I think Corbin's going over too. I think Corbin's going over in a big way at the end, though. Mm-hmm. I think you won't see Kalisto until he comes back to the Cruiserweight division. When he won't be on the show anymore. They're just giving him a way out right now.
Or, just thinking out loud here, or he's out, but then he makes his return at the Royal Rumble, which I think is the next pay-per-view, where he eliminates Baron Corbin for the
that'd be okay.
Royal Rumble.
But honestly, I don't want him to continue this feud.
No.
This feud's already been going on for too long, and to be honest, Kalisto's great.
I'm pretty sure that this feud was going on in NXT, too.
Yeah, it's just going on too long. But they can end it, and it's fine. Whatever. It's no big deal. I think it could possibly be match of the night, though. Mm-hmm. Yeah. God damn it.
Yeah, I'm sick.
This again?
Yeah, I'm sick of the Miz and Dolph Ziggler feud. This has went on too long. Ziggler needs to go away. He lost the belt. The Miz should be defended against someone else.
Do we have to keep talking about this match? Because we've talked about it 3 times in a row. So
okay, so let's just really quick pick the
Miz.
winner. Miz. Okay.
Next. Nikki Bella versus Carmella for no disqualification match. There's going to be one thing for sure in this match. One thing for sure that's going to happen. Everybody watching the match is going to lose, and they're going to lose horribly because Nikki Bella and Carmella are terrible.
Yeah, they brought up Carmella too quick, and Nikki Bella. Everyone knows Nikki Bella is not very good.
Nope.
This match is going to be terrible, so I don't want to waste any time talking about that. I'll just tell you my pick would be Nikki Bella to win that match.
My pick is who cares?
The audience, huh?
My pick is I'm going to go to the bathroom and maybe get some popcorn. And now we have the Women's Championship match with Alexa Bliss versus Becky Lynch. It's a tables match, by the way. Mm-hmm. And I hope that Alexa Bliss wins because I can't stand Becky Lynch. Sorry.
Yeah, I think Becky Lynch is going to win. But I'm interested to see how good Alexa Bliss is in one of these matches with Becky Lynch. Because I was on the fence with Alexa Bliss with thinking that they brought her up too quick like Carmella. But if she can make a good match out of this, then maybe they did bring her up right on time. But to me, Alexa Bliss is just boring without Blake and Murphy.
Well, that's true because Blake and Murphy should already be on the main roster and have all the titles.
Yeah. I don't know. I know one thing is last SmackDown I watched, Alexa Bliss, she impressed me with her microphone skills,
Yeah.
she just buried Becky Lynch.
Becky Lynch has so little charisma that it's just hard to watch her. I don't care how good her ring work is at that one point. It's her charisma is just so bad I can't handle it.
You know what? I'm wondering, just looking at the lineup here, the TLC lineup, if WWE just swerved us on the Goldberg Lesnar one just to make up for this pay-per-view that might be totally fucking predictable.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking at all these and they all have pretty predictable endings here. Because now I'm going to talk about the main event is AJ Styles versus Dean Ambrose. Tables, ladders, and chairs. I love both these guys, and I love their feud. Their feud is awesome too. I mean, I love how entertaining as hell. But AJ Styles wins because of that James Ellsworth guy. Something's gonna happen there.
He got sent to the emergency room though.
It's gonna happen. He's gonna show up.
Did you see that Styles clash on SmackDown?
Oh yeah, I was.
Holy crap!
Yeah. You happy you're signed now? Freaking.
Yeah,
Are you happy?
wow.
Did you? I told you when they signed him. When they signed him, and you were talking about how lucky he is, which he still is lucky. You got to love, I guess, being a wrestler to do it. But I said, you know what? They signed him to take all the big bumps. You know that.
Dude, it was so nasty.
And AJ Styles destroyed him with that clash.
Yeah. AJ Styles is as stiff as I've ever seen him been, only when he's wrestling that James Ellsworth guy.
Yeah, he's the crash test dummy. But I'm main event. I'm going with AJ Styles retaining. And I'm thinking he's going to retain because some shenanigans with Ellsworth. Who knows? Maybe they'll turn Ellsworth heel. Yeah.
I go no contest.
No contest. I don't think that's possible. How is that? It's a tables, ladders, and chairs.
They
There's
both knock each other out, falling through a bunch of chairs, and then the referee counts to 10.
Do they actually do that in those matches?
Yeah.
Okay. So you say no contest.
Yep, no contest.
Okay.
They're going to keep doing this feud. They don't really have anything else lined up. Even though I think if somebody else is going to feud with AJ, it'll be just as entertaining. But
Dean Ambrose is pretty damn entertaining. I know
Yeah.
I'm a huge Kevin Owens mark, and I've turned into a huge AJ Styles mark. But if there was no AJ Styles or Kevin Owens around, Ambrose is my close second. He's entertaining.
this is what I'm going to say about Ambrose. Ambrose was good, really, really good. But when he feuded with AJ brought out the great in him.
Yeah, I mean, he's been Ambrose to me is the most entertaining out of the Shield that we have, and I know everyone's going to go, "What about Rollins?" Rollins is the best, I believe, wrestler and everything like that, and just cocky, arrogant heel. But
Well, Rollins did take a picture of his wiener, and everybody got to see it. So.
Yeah, but Ambrose, he's really entertaining. Like I told you before, he's always reminded me of Roddy Piper when I was a kid. He just kind of was that unpredictable ass of a character.
Any surprises?
Look.
Well,
No, the only surprise I would see if there's any is Orton maybe turning, but
that better not happen already.
yeah. But other than that, this pay-per-view seems pretty predictable to me.
Yeah. Let's end the show with Playboy CVG's favorite thing to talk about, super old 80s wrestling. So we've been watching these Royal Rumbles, and we're planning to watch them from start to finish, not the whole show, just the matches. And we started from number 1, and we're going all the way to the most recent one. And by the time we get there, it'll be Royal Rumble time for real.
Yeah, the last Royal Rumble that we watched right now, we're going through, and we're just watching the Royal Rumble match. The match itself, not the entire pay-per-view.
And the promos before the match, which they need to do again.
Yeah, that would be fun.
All the wrestlers, every single wrestler in the Royal Rumble had a backstage vignette about how they're going to win right before the Rumble, and it was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, we were at the last one that we saw we agreed was hands down the worst one. That was the one Bret Hart and Lex Luger both went over the rope at the same time.
And if you think that one was bad, you should watch that and then watch the Raw after that.
Oh,
Yikes.
Yeah. Jeff Jarrett and Lex Luger and yikes. But you know what? I get interested when I'm watching because I've seen all the Royal Rumbles, but it's been a long time. I was a kid last time I saw the ones that were, the ones that had Hogan in it and stuff. But it was kind of interesting watching it now and seeing the reaction of the commish, with some of the wrestlers. The commish was all over Ted DiBiase, was just like, this guy's good.
Yeah,
and I was just like,
he was definitely the most entertaining thing in the Rumbles
$1 Million
we were
Man
watching so far.
He was awesome. Then this will be controversial, but I agree with the commish though. But when the commish got to see good old Andre the Giant, he just did not understand how he was so over back then. The guy could barely stand.
He was holding on to the ropes. It was just an embarrassment, really.
Yeah, he was old and he was out of his prime. There was one time where, there was a part of his career where he can actually move like a normal human, and that was, but it only lasted for so long. The dude had a disease, But yeah, with Andre the Giant, you're going to see a lot of rest holds. You're going to be holding him up throughout some of the match, and
it gave me the feeling that I shouldn't be watching.
Like he shouldn't be in it.
Yeah, because this seems like something bad's about to happen.
Yeah, like
to him.
Like when he was in the corner and people were beating him up, and they were hitting him. To me, it made me feel bad for him. It was like someo's beating up a hospital patient.
Yeah, exactly.
Like he was defenseless.
That's the exact feeling that I was trying to come across.
I understand that.
Yep.
But yeah, for all you guys and gals with the Andre the Giant and this and that, all the love and the respect in the world for Andre the Giant from me. But I never understood why he was so over either. And I saw him in his heyday. He was just huge, but he could barely move, and his wrestling moves looked really, really soft. They looked really soft. But people came out there just to see the Giant because he was so big.
So, not only...
But I'll tell you one thing. Wait, sorry to interrupt you, but I'll tell you one thing. One thing that makes Andre the Giant, though, better than the Big Show, because that's always a comparison.
Yeah, I agree. 100%.
Is Andre the Giant didn't let Muhammad Ali job to Muhammad Ali or anything or any of the other boxers. I believe he was him and Muhammad Ali. No, I think I was Gorilla Monsoon. But he fought another, I believe he wrestled another boxer or celebrity or something, and he didn't job to him, unlike the Big Show, who embarrassed the entire wrestling community when he let little 160-pound Floyd Mayweather knock him out.
You should be ashamed of yourself, Big Show. Grow a pair of balls.
Andre would at least, he wouldn't just job. You would have to,
grow a pair.
Dude, 25, I don't believe he jobbed in 25 years in the United States. Not once.
Who? Andre the Giant? Jeez.
He had like a streak like that. If I bring up my memory correctly, he lost once by tap out to Antonio Inoki, and he lost again to another legendary wrestler. I think it was maybe it was in Mexico or something like that, long time ago. And then Hogan. Wow. But then after he lost to Hogan, they started to job him out a lot.
How much more over do you need to be? You don't lose a match in that long. It's like being the world heavyweight champion and being the world heavyweight champion and winning the Royal Rumble at the same time. What arrogant prick would want to do that?
I don't know, brother.
Oh yeah, I forgot. We watched the Royal Rumble match where Hulk Hogan,
best Royal Rumble of all time,
was the heavyweight champion and he won the Royal Rumble. Oh my God!
Wait, that wasn't the best part. People were coming out early so we can have more time to flex in the ring.
Yeah, the counters.
Get in here so I can throw you out and I can flex you fucking jobbers.
They were in between people coming out. They were cutting the time because they were running long. So he could literally have 15 minutes to flex after the match with his music playing and grab people's signs and hold them up. And it was just, it was Hogan. And then next year he won again.
Yep. Well, I told you when you were asking me, so why is he the champion and why is the champion the Royal Rumble? I was like, dude, back in my day, you won the Royal Rumble. It really didn't mean shit except that you won the Royal Rumble. They didn't start making that the number one contender until the Yokozuna one, when Yokozuna won the Royal Rumble by stupid Randy Savage who tried to pin him.
Oh, that bad Royal Rumble we watched. We watched the piece of the main event before we watched the Royal Rumble match. Mm-hmm. And Undertaker used special powers and stuff on the Titantron, so WWE did it before Broken Matt Hardy.
Yeah.
And it was over. It was super over.
Oh, Undertaker's arguably the greatest of all time. He just is. I don't think he is. When people debate me, I always go with my guy when I was a little kid, Hogan. But if someone brings up Undertaker, I'm not going to argue with you because he might be. And for the record too, I also believe Undertaker is the only person that wasn't buried by Hogan either. Because I know he beat Hogan twice for the championship. So.
Well, Undertaker didn't win the Royal Rumble as the heavyweight champion, so
No.
and then win it the next year. So we have Hogan winning 2 Royal Rumbles in a row. And now we move on to what year is this?
What, this year? What are we talking
about? No, the year after that. So we're 2 years of Hogan winning.
I don't remember the year.
So I think
the last Royal Rumble we saw was '94.
I think that it was. I think that it might have been '92.
Yeah.
And now we have Ric Flair coming out at number 3. And Ric Flair apparently wasn't in the WWF.
Oh man, that's again story time with me. Back when I was a kid, it was just the same thing like with you.
Yeah.
During the Attitude Era, when you were a kid during the Attitude Era, you had your WCW marks, your people like Nitro.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I had people who loved the WWF, but I also had people who liked the old WCW NWA thing where the Horsemen and stuff were from. I like that too. I watched them all the time too, but I was always a WWF-E,
Right.
whatever, mark.
Yeah, get the F out. Got it.
But there was always that conversation and that argument about who was better, Hogan or Flair, all the time. And then all of a sudden, one day, I'm watching TNT, and that was Tuesday Night Titans, I believe it was called, and Bobby Heenan and Vince McMahon were on that show most of the time. And Bobby Heenan introduced, he had a special guest and introduced the real world champion. That's what he was called. He goes, the real world champion is here.
Oh, yeah, he did.
And Ric Flair comes walking out with the actual WCW belt.
Whoa.
And everything. I mean, it's not like they had to make another belt while he was gone. It was he.
That is some scandalous stuff.
He came out with the belt, and we were all like, "Oh my god, dude, he's here," kind of thing. And it's he's acting like he's going to challenge Hogan because Hogan's not. And so it's all going to work out. We're gonna finally get to see what's going to happen. So what happens is we're at the Royal Rumble. Flair gets 3. And we're all laughing like WWF's going to just job Flair out.
And
for
the
record, going to embarrass him, job out, because they're going to prove that they're so much better.
For the record, when I was watching this Royal Rumble, I was just saying anyone but Hogan.
Well, anyways, more the match went on, the more Flair was still in the match, the more nervous me and my friends who liked the WWF were getting. And he won that and won the title. And he's probably in the WWF. So he came into the WWF and in 6 months, won the world title. Then he held on to it until WrestleMania, and Savage won it from him at WrestleMania because stupid McMahon didn't want to give the fans what they wanted. Everyone thought that WrestleMania was going to be Hogan and Flair. But no, they're going to do Savage and Flair and Hogan and Sid. Because that's
Sid.
so much better.
Sid.
But then anyways, then a couple months after that, Ric Flair wins it back.
Everybody better be taking notes because you'll be tested on this later.
Yeah, he wins it back. But here was a good part about Flair, though. This is one thing I'll take my hat off to Flair that I won't do for Hogan, even though I'm a huge Hogan fan. Everybody during that era, when Flair just came in, were all wanting Bret Hart we're pushing Bret Hart. Everyone's getting tired of Hogan. Everyone wants something different. And Hogan and Savage and those guys and Ultimate Warrior weren't going to let that happen. Roddy Piper and Flair saw the potential in Bret Hart. And Ric Flair, he held on to that belt after he won it from Savage back. And only dropped it to one person, and that was the very first time the Hitman got a world title. Dropped it to the Hitman.
That's admirable right there.
Yeah.
Trying to push somebody that you think is good.
And
for the record, that Rumble where he won, that was the best one we've seen so far.
So far, yeah. That's always been my favorite Royal Rumble of all time. But then again, I was sitting there thinking, because I don't remember everything in great detail with all these matches. There's tons of Royal Rumble matches. But I also remember being pretty entertained by Royal Rumble that I believe McMahon won. And I don't remember.
Oh, yeah, we haven't got to that yet. Yeah, that one's good.
Austin.
That one's real good.
And there was also one Royal Rumble that, and I don't know if it's I don't think it's the same one, the one where Austin threw everybody out and he's waiting. It was during the Bret Hart feud, and Bret Hart comes out.
Yeah, that was.
And then they went Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn punching each other. Yeah.
Well, we're about out of time here on the podcast. So, two things. Don't forget to go to sleepnumbermattress.com. Use the offer code FWL Podcast. It's FWL Podcast. We get a kickback for the show. Secondly, there's one thing we didn't talk about with the Royal Rumble. We're going to end it off the show with this right now. And I'll end it off in just a second after I tell you how you can get a hold of us. You can do fwlpodcast@gmail.com. And we'll get back to you. We'll return your emails, and we might even just say something about you. Probably not, because you're a jabroni. Now, not like this person, the number one Royal Rumble winner of ever. The guy who won it first. Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Do it with us, and you know you want to. Oh! Oh, my God, we're worse people.